Hi, I have a podcast addiction. I try to be responsible with it, and boy did I ever try. But now I listen to Droids Canada podcast to keep my podcast addiction in line. But with listening to Droids Canada podcast, I think I have it under control, except for hearing the voices in my head.
You think Dane Cook is funny?
What the f*** was that? Anyways, always trying to grow a beard.
What the f***?
And constantly hearing a laugh track going off in my head. Oh my god, does this podcast fix anything besides be f***ing crude and so far off f***ing topic? Fuck.
Side effects include headache, diarrhea, nausea, compulsive head swinging disorder, tendencies to enjoy Gilbert Gottfried comedy, feeling attracted to John Travolta dressed as a woman, and more. Please do not go see your doctor. He can't fucking help you. You are fucked.
I am doing what I can to slightly lessen the spread of my podcast addiction, and to look forward to new beginnings. But Droid Canada podcast is like my crack pipe. They make all other podcasts look like a homeless person. That's a good thing, right?
Droids Canada podcast. Being off topic and offensive since 2012. Go to droidscanada.com.
Artificial fear.
We could talk about it while doing this episode, because I started it.
You started it.
Episode 188.
Are you sure?
Yes, actually, I'm pretty sure, because I have it. See what I'm doing now?
Oh,
I'm cataloging it as we work it. And I build
fantastic.
everything as we go, so we don't have a... the 178
Flashback.
is the new 179, or
Yeah.
179 is the new 178. I don't want to screw that up again. That was pretty bad.
You know there's only 3 types of people in the world, right? Those who can count and those who can't.
Count. Yes. Funny joke. If you tell people about what I'm doing, you're not going to get cookies. That was dark.
Dark.
That was dark. So, episode 188. It's been a busy day. I'm tired.
No.
Just gone off. We started our day, technically a later part of the day. We did an interview with the Doctor Who guys, as usual. Fantastic.
Audio media, good times.
Fantastic, except for that our retinas could be scarred in 2 weeks.
Well, yours.
Well, mine. Well, what do you mean yours? What's wrong with your...
I don't have issues with Sailor Moon.
A dude dressed up as Sailor Moon now. He's going to want to hug you. Remember the last time that happened to me?
I wasn't there.
You were definitely saved for that.
Yeah.
So, we had a good time by all. And right after that, we immediately watched the latest episode of The Walking Dead, labeled Forget.
Correct. Episode 13.
3 to go. Very weird episode, to say the least. There's a lot of things that happened. Durl finally took a shower. I had to make sure I put that in. Did you see the description for today's?
Yeah.
It's like, does Durl take a shower? You don't seem as traumatized today. You come to terms with the lack of beard on Rick?
And he's dead to me. Rick is dead to me.
It's growing back. It
That's
is
stubble.
growing back.
That's like 5 o'clock shadow.
But it's only been 1 day in the timeline,
Yeah,
so it's
there you
grown
go.
pretty far for 1 day. Like,
Apparently.
we'll see what happens in three
yeah,
weeks.
we'll talk about continuity a little bit later, I guess.
Oh God! Why would you have to bring that up already? So, where's your notes? Buddy?
My notes are behind me.
Are you good with?
Yeah, I'm
notes?
good.
Okay,
I'm good.
Okay, so let's just start with Sasha. Clearly has a death wish.
Snapped.
You think?
She's snapping.
She's her own box of Rice Krispies. Like, I mean,
Snap, crackle, pop.
me. Like, you just wait for her to start going full Goat
she's
Boy.
Outside the walls, she's got family photos, and it just starts unloading.
Wouldn't it be kind of weird if Sasha was Goat Boy? Be like, I need to go kill. You know what I mean? I happen to watch a stand-up recently with Jim Brewer, and
I'm sorry.
I was reminded about Goat Boy, and I totally forgot Goat Boy. Goat Boy was funny, by the way. Regardless of what AJ says, Goat Boy was funny. Funny. Literally, she's going crazy. Can't hide the fact she's going crazy.
No.
But at first, I was like, why is she kind of losing her reality? And I figured it's probably because of Tyrese. I'm like, no, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's finally all coming down, ranging from Bob's foot to Tyrese's arm. And someone in the middle. Who was in the middle? She had to freak out over. Because it showed all... Oh, Beth.
Yeah.
But we have, like, I'm going to reiterate yet again, she can still be fixed.
Yes.
We can just cork, sand, and what was it, broomstick handle you said?
No. For Beth, it'd be a cork for the top of the head, duct tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's all we need. Maybe a little bit of sand. Yeah.
Completely doable. And then we have a bonding scene, which at first you're like, ooh, what's going on with Daryl here?
Yeah.
Buttons didn't make it.
Buttons, no.
No,
Buttons, no.
Oh, buttons. So,
Yeah, Daryl and Aaron kind of bonding a little bit. Being that, the two gay guys are kind of outsiders, and Daryl being an
we're not
outsider.
talking about Daryl being gay, by the way. Make sure we understand about that. Just
oh, no,
you said two
totally...
gay people, we didn't separate anything.
Oh, no,
we don't want to go about the gay kissing again. That was
we don't
dark times, dark times. But more or less, his character wants to bring Daryl in. He did not, his exact words is, I didn't want her to give you a job because I want you to be a recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
And payment is building a sweet-ass Harley Davidson. Or
well,
whatever.
it didn't show a Harley, but it's a bike anyway.
More or less. I still don't know what happened to Daryl's bike before, maybe. Maybe it was left behind.
No, probably left behind.
I don't remember him losing it, but...
Lack of gas. It's kind of hard to push a bike that far.
Yeah, maybe. You just put it on the bus before state, Just saying. And then the secret meetings now are getting very interesting. We're not getting into the Easter eggs yet because you were just fucking off the handle.
Finding all
look
kinds
at that.
of weird little shit.
Constantly fucking machine today. It's like, look at that motherfucker. Like, you're just completely all over it today.
Whether or not it makes a sense yet, I don't know. We may find out. Might just be weird little things. But
well, we'll get there. But then we have the secret meeting with Rick, Carol, and Daryl about getting the guns, which they do get.
They do get them.
Unfortunately, Daryl has a change of heart. He's got a soul.
Daryl doesn't have a soul.
He was like, do we really need the guns? And you're like, motherfucker, really? Just stole how many, like, bunch of 45s and 6-shooters?
Access to a bunch of other stuff. They don't need it.
True, but I mean...
He's got his crossbow. You got the katana. Do you really, like, for this group
do you have the katana no more? It's up on a wall now.
It's up on a wall. Who cares?
And Michonne lost her testicles. She has no testes. I'm going to be a cop.
I bet you she's still got bigger testes than you.
Well, maybe. Yeah, in her mouth.
Oh.
But don't shing.
Wow.
But she also, at the same time, had the fucked up cop jacket with the corset on.
Like the corset strings on the
big?
back.
Like, I know that's the end of the world.
It's not like it's Fat Man in a little coat.
Oh, God.
You brought up SNL reference, so will I.
Fat Man in the coat. No, but I mean, if they want her to be a cop, which she is, and they want her to wear the badge and stuff, if the jacket was too big and that's why they shrunk it, why didn't they just get her another spring jacket or whatever,
windbreaker,
and just cut the patches off that one and
I don't know,
instead of making a corset, because now it looks silly.
It looks stupid.
It looks really silly. Oh my God, I can't believe we're talking about fashion right now, but it was just,
especially in The Walking Dead.
But it's the whole point, like, it doesn't make sense why you did it. So, and now Michonne hangs up the sword because now she's a cop.
Yep.
She's still on the fence, though. I think she's still on the fence of, is this going to be something I'm going to be 100% safe from, or...
She tried to hang up the sword once, and look at what happened.
Very true, but I do not like the direction of Michonne. It really is being... And maybe it's because we all like the day of the massive murder Michonne and how she had the 2 walkers, and that was pretty badass. When she came in, season 3... and just annihilated everybody. It was pretty sick. And now it's just like, okay, you have a vagina now, so you need to calm down. Like, no.
Which then leads to Maggie. And what you mentioned about Maggie.
You know, she was so much hotter when she was killing things. Like, she just, I don't know, her and Glenn's drawn-on mustache just really doesn't do it for me. And you know what this really scares me is that it makes me believe that Glenn's demise is coming because they seem to be really relaxed now. And I know you haven't read the comic books, but
I still have not touched a one.
And you will binge read it one day, I know. But we all know that Glenn's going to get killed by Negan. That is the one storyline arc that they will not jump.
Are you sure about that?
Well, they're not taking Glenn's character seriously anymore.
Should we put that to a coffee bet right now?
A coffee. You already lost a coffee bet today.
No, I didn't.
No, yesterday you did.
I didn't. We did not bet a coffee yesterday.
What did we bet?
We didn't bet.
Oh, I'm sorry, we did.
No.
You sound like you're getting angry. Put the beer to sleep.
No.
I have fed that beard today with coffee. Put it to sleep.
No.
Yeah.
There was no bet made yesterday.
Just saying.
We did not officially make a bet.
There was no handshake? Is that what it
There was
was?
no well, you don't need a handshake, no, but it's
if you
like,
shake
you know,
more than
you gotta
once, you're
say it's at
playing with
least,
it,
you know, bet you coffee. We did not do that, but you did win the discussion. Yes.
I won the discussion. Okay, then I will take that anyways. I will take that as a win.
That's a win. You're
I
just
put
not
it. I
getting
put
a
it in
coffee
the
out of
W.
the deal.
You know, a win is a win.
That's fine.
Doesn't
You
matter
take
how I get
every
the win.
little
I got
win.
the win. It's
That's
in the
fine.
point column. It's just like hockey. It doesn't matter how I got the point. It's still there.
When you get so few wins, you'll take what you can get. I
That's
know.
right. Oh well, I'm just saying. Wow, we dragged that out a little bit there. Everyone's like, what the fuck are they talking about? Don't worry, you don't want to know.
What the fuck are you babbling about?
Now, it's just Maggie. I look at her now and I'm like, what happened? It's kind of like when you run into someone from your high school days and you're like, oh, what happened?
Train wreck.
Oh, Jesus, a raging dumpster fire and it's got STDs on its face.
No.
Oh, did I go too far?
Too far.
No, that was pretty PC though. I didn't list the type of diseases. I could have gone several herpelates, but get them all in one shot. Why not? Ryan was here. He gave me a high five. You're not giving me a high five.
No.
But you look at Maggie now, and you don't see the fierce Maggie at all.
Nope.
And Glenn's just like, I'm trying to. Like,
Glenn's a pussy.
Pretty much. Like, I mean,
Like,
you
all
had
of a
that
sudden-
glimmer of hope last episode when he fucking delivered that menacing uppercut, and you're like, yeah! And then it's like, okay, guys, I'm going to put my tampon back in. I'm pretty much done now.
Yeah.
And then Abraham, what's going on there?
Don't know. He got a little bit. He got a little bit drunk.
Looked like
Kind of trying to put moves on Michonne.
he was going to give her the genetic jackhammer. I think.
No.
I don't know. And now he's growing beard. You pointed out to me. Look at the size of that. That's
that
going
stash
beard.
is starting to go into a beard.
And he had a flat top. Like how do you maintain a flat top in a post-apocalyptic world?
The chick's giving haircuts.
He had the flat top before too. Like I mean, it's like Fresh Prince of the Bel-Air.
Well, you just got to trim.
I don't know. Where's the Mullet Man? I didn't see the Mullet Man at all.
No, did not see the Mullet Man this episode at all.
That's upsetting too.
They gave him a day off.
But Carol, I think, won the episode.
Yeah.
I have never seen someone put the fear of God in a child before in my entire life.
It's like, I'm stealing some guns. You caught me. Either you can keep this a secret, or I'm going to feed you to the zombie horde outside the wall.
The best part is that's the polite way of saying what she said.
Yeah, that's short term. She went off, and then she right afterwards. She literally, it's like, so you could not say anything, and you'll get cookies, lots of cookies. And smiles about it. Like, really?
She's a sociopath now, I think. I think she's finally reached that level where...
What the fuck?
Well, she is the only person, in my opinion anyways, out of the three people, Daryl, Rick, and herself, is still sticking to the plan. She has yet to second-guess herself where the other two has. I figured it would have been Daryl that would never second-guess himself, but now with the way how Aaron has kind of enticed him with the bike and everything, you're like, oh. And then Rick has always been on the fence. Now he's going to bang that hot piece of ass that's got an asshole husband that's a doctor, which you can just tell the guy's a dick from the get-go. And I think that character feels like, I really hope that's not the character I'm thinking of from the comic book. And I could be wrong, but I remember a scene from the comic book where a horde of zombies get in and one of the encampments. Now, I've read this ages ago, and there was a scene where her kid is getting just torn apart by these zombies, and she's holding onto the hand, and Rick's trying to pull her out of it, and she won't let go, and Rick grabs a hatchet and just chops off her kid's hand. And you're just like, oh, that's so dark.
Kind of like when Aaron chopped off the hand of the zombie.
Oh, we haven't even got about that yet.
Yeah.
We haven't got to about this. You know what? There was some excellent zombie killing.
There were no animals harmed in the episode of The Walking Dead, I'm sure.
Buttons didn't make it.
Buttons
AJ.
didn't make it, though. It wasn't
It wasn't a real horse because Pete would be outside.
Oh, exactly.
But that was just he heel booted a zombie in the head.
And it was so good. Like, the first thing I saw is the splatter. that hit the camera, and you could tell it hit the camera.
Yeah. And that's good, though, because that means they're not fully relying on CGI, taking the fucking cheap way out and going, we'll just fucking CGI it.
Yeah.
Like, no. We're still doing it the old-fashioned way. There was that, and then he grabbed the one zombie, slammed its head into the other head zombie, and it destroyed. Like, this is just fucking morbid, and it's awesome. And in Eric's credit, he did deliver a fantastic uppercut with a machete to one of the zombies' heads and took the head off. It was a pretty good episode.
There were some good
around.
zombie kills, yeah.
I won't lie. Originally, when Daryl went into Aaron's house and they're like, "Did you ask him?" and I was like, "Oh God, I don't know where this is going.
We don't know where this is going."
Especially the way how the internet's been like, gay people kissing, Jesus Christ. I'm like, oh.
Well, you'd instantly lose all the women viewership if you
I was going to
gay.
say, what would happen? What if, and I don't care either way, but what if Daryl came out as gay? Would we lose the female audience?
Oh, I bet you a lot would.
I don't think you lose them all.
Oh, no, you wouldn't lose them all, but you would lose quite a few, I'm sure.
Because I do know that Rick Grimes is slowly moving up in the chain and catching people's eyes, but now, because the beard's gone.
Well, yeah, he look,
He actually looks like
some
a human
people are
being.
into beards, some aren't.
That wasn't a beard, sir. That was a weapon. A weapon of mass destruction. Bush couldn't find a WMD. I looked at Rick Grimes and found one.
Speaking of W's.
Oh, what is with these letters everywhere?
I don't know. I noticed 3 different instances.
And the A's, I'm still kind of scratching my head at.
Yeah, well, the first one was meeting number 1 with Daryl, Rick, and Carol.
That's right.
And they're talking about stealing the guns.
That's right.
And then the walker comes in, and it's got a W carved into its forehead.
Well, if I'm a smart person, W as in Walker.
Then why not just kill it?
Yeah,
Why
but this
take
is
the
also
time
the
to-
same crew that had a ritual of tying up a zombie and just disemboweling it for fun.
You make a point.
I-
Instance number 2 was at the party, and you notice that I don't know what's her face, the one Rick's like hitting on,
yeah. We
with
all
the
know.
doctor husband douchebag, that they had the letter A's on their hands. You didn't notice it, and I'm like, oh look, we saw that, and then all of a sudden you missed the part about the kid giving him a stamp with the letter A on it. Don't know where it's going, and then
you had the letter S
later on,
on a sewer. So I'm gonna guess, like maybe.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you not know how to spell the word sewer?
Like
what the hell?
it's like I think that's a sewer, but I'm not sure. Hold on, it's got an S. It's
Yeah. But yeah, Sasha ends up going outside the wall, and has that big little scene with Deanna, and all of a sudden, as kind of the bird's eye view pops up, I'm like, oh, there's a little S on the sewer grate. So I'm like, what's with all these letters like popping up? Is it just like Easter egg, or is there some meaning behind it?
It could be. I mean,
wait and see.
Why would you put so much time into something and just be like, just for shits and giggles? Like, I mean, you're literally marking people. And that, when I saw the A after you pointed out, it made me think of when they were in Terminus, and that was the name of the boxcar, was letter A. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's a stretch, and I would be feeling like I'm really reaching to get that as an option, but I don't know. Like, there's so many different places the show can go right now, but the ending threw us both for a loop. We literally cocked our heads sideways and went, what the fuck?
With this weird mock Andy Griffith kind of music, happy-go-lucky.
It was weird because I think what it's trying to demonstrate is that is probably the first time in all the seasons that Rick felt truly safe. Because he was up against the wall, and you knew there was a walker on the other side of that wall that was just kind of scraping away and trying to get in. But he just kind of like leaned up against it as if he could have slept on that wall knowing he was safe. But
he didn't have the beard for a pillow.
Very true. So that then solidifies my point that, Rick has finally come to a stage. He's slowly coming back to reality.
Coming back around.
But then, he exits madness, is that what I would say?
Yeah.
Sasha enters madness, and now she is outside the wall with a full box of ammunition given by the Congresswoman.
Yeah,
Deanna, which is actually, it's funny because I was talking on the last episode that we did that it wasn't a female, it was a male, and he asked me who it was, and I actually looked it up, and then I remembered who the male was.
It was like in the comics, it was Douglas,
Deanna. Yeah. That doesn't really matter, but she hands her an entire box of ammunition the day after Sasha had a meltdown
at a party.
Yeah. And so,
her party.
Yeah. And if I was the Crown, I wouldn't have set her out. She's clearly got a death wish. And then you think about it. Now you just lost ammunition. You lost a perfectly fine automatic rifle with a silencer. So you're just letting a person go out there and do their death wish because she's unable to cope with Tyrese's and Beth's and Bob's foot. Like, the exit of all those characters. Clearly there's something wrong there. I was even saying to AJ's that she ain't going to get out this season. I don't think she is. Maybe she'll take the role of Glenn's death. I don't know. Because, they've already flipped it around. Because technically Herschel was Tyrese in the death suit, in the storyline of the death. So it's possible. But I think they're running out of ideas for maybe Sasha's character. It's just kind of like, she came along and she's like we don't see other characters that came in at times that we thought, this character can be something like Abraham. We thought Abraham would have a huge role, and he's puttering off in the background.
Kind of like Mullet Man.
And then Mullet Man, you got Tara. You barely see Rosalita ever. You see her like handful of times.
Yeah. She's just kind of there.
Yeah. Like, all these other characters. And Carl, you saw him, 10 seconds this episode?
Yeah, there's no... Well, I have no problem with that.
Well, it's fine because he's staying in the house.
For once.
But... it feels like all these characters that they spend all this time building storyline arcs for, they're like, who cares? I don't like that. I have no stock in Sasha's character. Mind you, when Bob was introduced, I was like, he ain't going to last long. You did get some time out of Bob.
I didn't figure he'd last long. But I was wrong.
But they actually gave him a whole Origins episode 2, which they haven't done that for Sasha. I would actually like to see that. I would like to see a Daryl Dixon origin story, so all that background noise can finally be understood of where he came to be, and then it gives Michael Rooker a chance to have a little fun coming back in because we all miss Michael Rooker.
You'll never get it now.
No,
too late.
I'm allowed to dream. Why not? Daryl Dixon's character went from dirty ass redneck to badass with a crossbow back to a person with feelings. Honestly, I think it's the other way around. I think it's becoming more and more possible because his character seems to be softening, if that real way to put it.
He's cried a couple of times. Look out.
His crying is so horrible.
It's bad.
Like, I'm just looking at this photo while me and we're recording this podcast. There's a photo of Robert Downey Jr. and Daryl Dixon here. And it's actually not that bad. It's actually a pretty good photo. I had a good laugh at it just looking at it. But, or maybe even a character back, like you got even an origin story of Abraham, and you got all these new characters to add on. They got small little origin stories, but then you had the main characters. They're like, Yeah. Like Rick Grimes really didn't get much of an origin story.
No. Woke up, everyone's dead.
Pretty much. We should bring Shane back.
No.
All right. Is there anything we missed from this episode? I think we pretty much hit everything at this point.
Covered most of it, I believe. If not, well, oh well.
Well, with that said, I hope everyone enjoyed episode 180 of the Droids podcast. Wait, before we go.
What was that? What
88,
number?
88.
Oh, 88. Okay.
That's 88. 88. 188.
Okay. Just making sure.
Just as a quick announcement, we decided just before this podcast started.
Oh.
We are going to have we're going to continue a weekly show after.
On Sundays,
On Sundays, because we normally kind of float around after The Walking Dead's off the air going, what the fuck do we talk about? So we decided, me and AJ, and it's obviously open to the other mints as well, is that every Sunday we will continue doing our weekly show, but replacing The Walking Dead will be Game of Thrones.
Fantastic.
It is fantastic, because we were trying to find a theme song. We should have just went to Artificial Fear first, because he gave us authorization to use his music for any time we want, but we found a Western version of the Game of Thrones theme, and we just don't know how to react to it.
I'm like...
It kind of worked, which was kind of weird at the same time.
I ixnayed that real fast. No.
Opening with whistling and stuff, and he's like pulling out his gun.
It's decent, don't get me wrong, but for
it's
art,
kinda,
no.
Weird.
Artificial Fear, far superior.
Yeah, because it's metal, that's why.
Well, yeah,
You're
exactly.
a metalhead,
Duh.
that's why. Well,
Duh. This coming from the Metallica fan.
Oh, but here's a question for you. Does Artificial Fear like chimichangas? Oh. Oh shit!
Game over, man. It's game over.
Thanks for listening to the Droids You Are Looking For podcast. Stay tuned for next week's podcast.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.